should parents have a bigger role in what goes on in the classroom? Look, I've said for a long time, we teach reading, writing, arithmetic, history, geography, but I've been really frustrated that we don't teach kids about life. We don't teach them how to manage stress. We don't teach them how to do some of the things they have to do to navigate the terrain once they get out into the world. And, you know, Professor, you were talking about this bill, if you read it, in the early stages, and I've read the bill 7 times actually. The word gay is not in there, but it says you can't do this till this age or this age or this age. So you think, well, okay, I can follow that. But then it says, or at an inappropriate age. It has to be age appropriate. So it's like, we gave you all these benchmarks, forget them all now, it's totally subjective. So it could be argued at any time that it was not age appropriate, right?
That's the real concern that they call it the chilling effect. And when I'm talking to my law schools, that comes from vague and amorphous standards that you don't know if you're going to run afoul of them. You just avoid those conversations altogether.
And so I'm
hasn't the Supreme Court ruled that the parents have the right for the care and custody of their children in making the decisions for their care and custody in all manners, medical care, education? That the Supreme Court ruled on that a long, long time ago, correct?
Yes, and I think that's what tugs at us, right? We do recognize that the parental rights framing, I've been a parent, many of us sitting here have been parents, are parents, right? We want parents to be engaged in the development of their children. You know, that's very important. But we also, as a public school system, we want to educate citizens who are going to go out and be flourishing and thrive in a democracy that's multicultural.
But the onus of that lies with the parents. They're in control of the care and custody of their children. And my question to you is, what makes you think you know better than a parent about what should happen to a child when they have a life-determining decision about whether they're going to make a decision about gender or anything else? You have to call before you give them a Tylenol, and you can't make a presumption that this child can't take this information home.
So I think there's no indication that adults can have any influence on a child's gender identity or sexual orientation. Kids are who they are. So in a public school that's for every student, regardless of who they are or where they come from, sometimes we're going to need to provide education that keeps them safe. So safety is foundational to learning. Trans kids who are affirmed in their identities have mental health that is no different than their cisgender peers. So what I think—
That's not true.
It is true.
Oh, well, hell no, it's not.
Kids who are affirmed in their identities.
The suicide risk for the transgender population is 3 times that.
So when we look at the Trans Youth Project in Princeton with Christina Olsen.
Listen though, because there's new information all the time.
You don't have all that information, and why would you exclude the parents? Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.